Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Sweet Tree of Life Tarot. This reading is for March 2022. Welcome all my Aquarius air sign. Now, as you can see, you have a lot of swords here, which actually are the suits for the air signs. So it's kind of very indicative of your air sign as well. Very much a message going on here. If you haven't been familiar with these readings are actually considered to be Tree of Life spread. So it's a Tree of Life on the top. Is it top of the tree? As you go down, you go into the branches and of course the trunk of the tree. And then what you have is the roots of the tree. And it's felt that with the Tree of Life, everything that happens on top in the heavens also corresponds with what's happening on the earth or more material world, and vice versa. So it all affects each other. Let's go ahead and start the readings. Here in the number one position is what the issue is. So basically, this is what the issue is that you might be facing for some of you Aquarius. Um, Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands, it's basically a card of competition, conflict, kind of like a power struggle. Some of you might be going through that. Others might just be going through delays, annoyances, or power struggles as well. But basically, they're not trying to really hurt each other. They're just kind of trying to prove who's alpha, in this situation. So there's like a little competition, and they could be dealing, because it is a wand sign, could be dealing with Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, that you could be dealing with this type of personality that's kind of like trying to see who's alpha between yourself and that individual. It could also be with a loved one, maybe somebody that you're in a relationship with as well from that sign. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. In the number two position, you have the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups in this position tells me that what's kind of driving you forward. The Knight of Cups is very chivalrous, very sensitive, strong. He's kind of like the knight in shining armor, right? There's a moon right here, which kind of lights his path, but again, it won't light his path completely. So he does have to count a lot on his intuition and his faith in order to kind of get him through to see where he's heading. Because he is a knight of shining armor, he's very romantic. He does, he could bring like a romantic invitation as well. He's definitely ruled by his heart because he is, heart and Knight of Cups. Though he is very, much a romantic dreamer, passionate, because he is the Knight of Cups, he also can be a little bit temperamental, maybe even a little bit overly sensitive and kind of fickle with his emotions. So with this card here being on what drives you, it might be that you're very sensitive, very strong, but maybe your emotions are a little bit overly sensitive at this time. And that's kind of what's driving you forward, though, into trying to see what you can create, because, you do have the romantic vision, that romantic kind of heart and thinking with your heart. But at the same time, there is a little bit more of sensitivity there. So let's go ahead and keep going on the reading and see what develops. Right here, you have the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords is in the creation part of your Tree of Life. The Four of Swords, I know it looks kind of dismal, but it's really not that bad. It's basically something that you've kind of now wanting to create this sense of recuperation, reflection, withdrawal. So she's basically, what she's doing here is she's just been through a battle. And now she's trying to get that rest and recuperation, kind of just recharging both her body and mind so that she can move forward in her journey. So that's kind of like what you might be doing right now after maybe going through this battle up here with a power struggle. Now you're kind of like, okay, I'm done with this battle. I'm just now withdrawing a little bit, reflecting within myself, taking this time to rest and recharge before continuing on. And so you do have to take that step back from the situation. That is a necessary thing for you to do in order to review the next course of action. And then right here in the number 4 position, we have what's kind of giving you the energy to keep building. And that's the Two of Cups, a very beautiful card, very much a lover's card. And this card like the Lover's card, represents a connection or an attraction or common bond with someone. It could be also regarding marriage or a union or a commitment of a relationship, a deep friendship also, or just a general partnership if it's a business related matter. But for others of you, it can also represent a truce or forgiving of someone close to you. So it's possibility that you might have been arguing with these people here, and now you're kind of, bringing in a truce, kind of make it peaceful, and now kind of seeing and drawing back and kind of seeing, reflecting within, and seeing what your next steps are, but trying not to be overly emotional about it. So there's definitely a lot of emotion going on with this person or this situation. In the number 5 position, it usually tells us what you need to dissolve, and it's a 3 of Swords. Again, the swords are the suit for the for all signs that are air. For Aquarius, like yourself, Gemini and Libra. So it is something in this position because it's 3 of Swords and it's in the dissolving position. It basically does indicate that you've been through some trying to dissolve some heartbreak, maybe a painful separation or disappointment, even like a betrayal, or you felt like was being, you're being betrayed, or a sense of abandonment. So you're still kind of grieving over that loss. The swords kind of represent like a difficult change or difficult choice, that you had to make. And it's necessary for you to release that pain and just let it go in order for you to move forward in your journey. So it is, with this card, it is recommended that it tells you to kind of follow your follow a more positive path. All the light's already coming, the light of hope's already opening up these clouds of conflict. So you're now able to deal with the situation, release that pain, go through the grieving process of that loss, but then release that pain and move forward. So you'll have to dissolve that. In the middle of the card here, basically where we have the reading, it's kind of like considered like the synergy of the reading. So the synergy basically means, you have like all these multiple energies, but it's with multiple energies, or more than one energy unite to make a better energy. And also just, this is a great foundational card that I consider, that because it is in the middle of the deck. It is in the section of beauty in the tree of life. It is the King of Swords, and again, very much so an air sign. And you're getting a lot of air signs in here. It's definitely much indicating what might be going on with some pain, some heartache. But it's a very strong figure here with the King of Swords. This energy is actually a calming energy. So he has this calming and powerful type of energy because he's that type of ruler. And he prefers that tactical use of his intellect instead of a showy display of emotion. So even though he kind of, thinks with his head more than his heart, and is kind of stern, he's still very much a just, truthful, and decisive type of person. So this kind of gives me a general sense that you do have that calmness about you. You do have that powerful energy that's going to help you get through this and kind of get those emotions under control so that you're not overly set off by your emotions, and you can actually go through that grief and get through the grief so that you're kind of done with it and move on and moving forward in your journey. Now, right here in the victory position, we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords, it's basically, it is in the victory position. So what it indicates, she is a forceful communicator. She is considered to be assertive. And again, it's a test of wills, which reminds me of this card up here with the, alpha, trying to kind of test your wills and see who can be the alpha. So in this position here, it's also reminding us of maybe how you will achieve that victory. Maybe you do need to be a little bit assertive. And also, like this card here, though she is young, she has learned to be just and forthright. So just like the king, he's very just and forthright, even though she's a little bit more forceful and he is a little stern in communicating. She uses her sharp wit and intellect to solve problems and diffuse a conflict. So at least she does like diffusing those conflicts. She remains calm, but at the same time, she kind of knows what her surroundings are, and she's ready for action if it's needed. So they're very much connected, all of these swords, especially the sword suits here, letting you know, yeah, they could be a little stern. You're ready to go ahead and stay calm, but at the same time, you're ready for action. Right here in the number 8 position reveals what you want, and it's the 6 of Wands. So what you want is pretty much to kind of embrace the 6 of Wands energy, which is an acknowledgement, a recognition of something that you might be wanting to be recognized for. He's a champion that emerges through this struggle, and which is basically going through this struggle and this pain that you're going through, now taking time to step back, rest, reflect, and recharge. So this is very much a very powerful card, and you do want to get through that struggle and be basically on the top, be the alpha at that point. Pretty much you just want to kind of arise over this challenge, which is a very positive card. In the number 9 position here, you can see it's how you see yourself or how others see you. You have the 6 of Pentacles here, the card of giving and receiving. This is what that's considered, in the form, of course, of giving and receiving in the form of material possessions, because it is Pentacles, of course. So it is more of an earthy sign, of a more material sign. In this case, very more financial sign. It could also be that you're giving and receiving of material possessions also in as a loan, or possibly just knowledge or advice or emotional support on the more less mundane level. So as you can see here, she's harvesting the fruits of her labor, and she shares her wealth with the hungry birds. So she does share what she has, and kind of sharing her fruits that she has, worked so hard to get, and she is sharing them, her material possessions. So that's very, very beautiful that you see yourself that way, and or others see you like that as well. So what's the outcome, and what's kind of radiating from the whole reading here as far as the outcome goes? It's a 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands here, again, is dealing with conflict and struggle. So it does connect, as you can see, with the top here, where there is conflict and struggle. They all kind of connect, like I said, with the material world here, as opposed to the heavenly realms as well. So you have the card that deals with this conflict and struggle. And even though he's kind of outnumbered and kind of, they caught him off guard, he still has the upper hand, which is what you've been wanting over here, just to have that upper hand, and you're going through that struggle. So the 7 of Wands here, it tells me that you do have the upper hand, and you do have your shield, and you're ready to fight with the wands, and of course you have a powerful dragon with you, and you can even just kind of fly away and not deal with this as well. So it's very the struggle, kind of get over that struggle, representing that struggle, kind of challenge being conquered. So this is a really good card. And then basically here on the left side, as you can see, where the thing that you do have to dissolve, the 3 of Swords, because it is also a sword suit, it could also be relating to someone that's caused you heartbreak that might have been even an air sign, where it could be Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. So that could be in reference to that as well. Or they could have that type of energy, or just, you having to deal with that situation. But the power struggle definitely seems to be more with like a fire sign, which is Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. On the left hand side here, as you can see, we have the pillar of severity, and this side we have the pillar of mercy, and in the middle is considered to be the pillar of harmony. Now the pillar of harmony, as you go back up the tree, it usually kind of tells you on how to solve the situation that you started off having the issue here. So basically, if we do go back up, you are dealing with the conflict, the struggle, you have the upper hand, you have this sense of giving and receiving, so you're keeping that openness and the helpfulness, which is great. You have the sternness, a sternness of these two, the King of Swords and the Page of Swords, but you also have that calmness about it, and you're going to use your intellect to kind of diffuse the situation. And of course, this is what you really reveals what you wanted, which is that upper hand, and being on top, a champion emerges from the struggle. Basically, this is what this card means. You want that acknowledgement, that recognition, And as you go up, of course, you do have somebody that's with you, either they're a partner, a romantic partner, or a deep friendship. That's somebody that's helping you here to keep building what you're trying to build in your goals. And over here, you're going to have to dissolve the situation here with that painful or feeling of disappointment and betrayal, whatever you're grieving. You want to be able to release that in order to move forward. And as you do that, you recharge, take a step back, reflect more so that you're not run by your emotions. And then, of course, you go to the top and you can turn the Five of Wands upside down and get rid of that conflict, that competition, that or any kind of delays that are happening. And just to keep in mind, there are a lot of delays happening right now because, as you know, it is Mercury retrograde, and it just started on May 10th and it'll go through June 3rd. So do keep an eye on that. That's why it's also, like this card says, take the time to reflect, take a step back, pause, kind of watch, observe, but be ready to go. And at the same time, watch and observe before taking your next step. I hope this reading has been very helpful in giving you a new perspective on maybe how to handle a situation a little differently, or how to kind of fix the situation as well. I hope this brings you a lot of peace and tranquility, and maybe looking at the different ways you can solve your dilemmas. If you would like a personal reading, I am available for personal readings. My email is in the links in the YouTube channel. Please contact me and I'll gladly give you a reading. And if you do want to like or share this link with someone that you think might benefit from it, please do. I appreciate that and appreciate your support. And if you can subscribe, that would let me know that you want me to continue making these videos for the future or for next month. I do appreciate your support and your time. Thank you very much, and I hope and wish you a very peaceful rest of the month. And may you have lots of light and love. Thank you.